Part 3. All is allowed. Current activity and global music scene reach. Facetaker has established himself as an independent music project with global potential, existing outside the mainstream, yet steadily building his own fan base across various subcultures. His influence does not stem from corporate marketing or artificial hype, but from authenticity, raw artistic vision, and a consistent dedication to crafting his sonic and visual world. In the digital space, Facetaker is gaining an increasingly strong presence, actively expanding his reach through YouTube, streaming platforms, and social media. His music spreads organically, fueled by fans who crave dark, brutal, and uncompromising art. First, Facetaker as an independent force on the scene. Instead of following the standard paths of the music industry, Facetaker has created his own strategy for building community and breaking into the market. Through Metaltone Records, he is actively building a music platform that gives him full control over his content, distribution, and visual identity. The independent label system, merchandise, and direct connection with fans allow him to bypass the traditional limitations of the music industry and create without compromise. Facetaker proves that the independent scene can rival mainstream projects in both quality and impact. Facetaker's work is both an intellectual and emotional manifesto, unflinching in the face of humanity's deepest questions, yet entwining raw cynicism with a quiet thread of empathy. Every track makes it clear, this is not merely music, but a deliberate process where philosophical reflection, poetic imagery, and destructive energy merge. As its creator, Ronnie Rage works with sharp contrasts. Moments of silence give way to explosions of sound. Delicate introspection shatters into brutal visions, and dark imagery is woven with fleeting sparks of hope. Cynicism in his art is never gratuitous. It is a scalpel, slicing through layers of false certainties and ingrained prejudice. Listeners are often pulled behind the curtain of the modern world, where comfort and conformity become a gilded trap. His musical structures are built not only to create aesthetic impact, but to deliver a mental shock. Sound as a weapon to provoke the question, what remains of a human being once all illusions are stripped away? The emotional side of Facetaker is multi-layered. It is not only anger or darkness. At its core lies a deep sensitivity, able to recognize fragility in every story. This sensitivity does not manifest as sentimentality, but as an intensity of experience. The music acts as a mirror, reflecting loss, defiance, melancholy, and a fascination with the act of survival itself. On an intellectual level, his work thrives on building symbolic layers. Visions of dystopia and apocalypse are not mere backdrops. They are allegories for the present state of society and the human psyche. His lyrics often function on two levels, as concrete stories from an imagined world, and as metaphors for the inner struggles familiar to every listener. In this way, Facetaker holds a singular place in the musical landscape, a creator capable of uniting a powerful visual and sonic aesthetic with profound thematic depth. His cynical perspective on reality is balanced by creative discipline. Every track feels like a fragment of a greater architecture, where even the smallest detail has its place. This approach reveals a high degree of self-awareness and the determination to build a body of work with lasting value, untouched by fleeting trends. Facetaker's aesthetic is meticulously unified, from sound to lyrics to graphic and visual identity. Dark tones, industrial textures, apocalyptic motifs, and precise atmospheric construction give the whole its unmistakable character. Everything feels deliberate, part of a long-term vision in which every release has its role. In this way, Facetaker emerges not only as a musician, but as the architect of a complete artistic universe. Emotional intensity, intellectual depth, and an unflinching dose of cynicism converge in his work at the point where music becomes an experience, personal, urgent, and unforgettable. Second, international reach and a cult fan base. Facetaker is steadily building an international community of listeners who connect with his dark aesthetic and philosophy. Since his music draws from industrial, electronic, metal, and cinematic influences, it appeals to a wide range of subcultures, including fans of industrial and post-apocalyptic music, 9 Inch Nails, Ministry, Rammstein, Frontline Assembly, dark electronic and synthwave listeners, Carpenter Brute, Perturbator, Scandroid, metalheads who appreciate experimental and cinematic soundscapes, Fear Factory, Meshuggah, Behemoth, Gojira, visual artists and filmmakers seeking atmospheric music for dystopian concepts. His music increasingly appears in underground playlists, alternative media, and independent radio stations. With every release, he strengthens his position as an iconic dark scene artist who does not play by the rules, but creates new boundaries for the sound and aesthetics of dystopian music. Third, expansion into film and multimedia. Beyond music, Facetaker actively focuses on merging visual art with his sound, building the potential to break into the worlds of film, video game soundtracks, and multimedia projects. His soundtrack-oriented approach is ideal for dystopian and sci-fi films, dark video games, and atmospheric visual projects. Planned near-future steps include collaborations with filmmakers on dark science fiction and cyberpunk projects, creating soundtracks for indie games with apocalyptic aesthetics, producing short films and visual storytelling videos to expand the Facetaker universe. 4. Direct connection with fans. Building an underground empire. Facetaker deliberately avoids superficial viral marketing, focusing instead on cultivating a community of loyal fans who understand his message. Unlike mainstream acts that rely on algorithms and paid advertising, Facetaker builds a cult movement through direct engagement with his listeners. He plans to further expand his community through interactive online events, exclusive fan-only materials, and special edition physical releases. The goal is not just to create a music brand, but to forge a powerful movement united by dystopian art. A future icon in the making. With a vision that transcends borders, Facetaker is forging his own path toward becoming one of the defining names in the global alternative scene. Through Metaltone Records, he maintains complete creative control, shaping every note, every image, and every release to fit seamlessly within the uncompromising dystopian universe he has built. His work is more than music. It is a multi-sensory world where industrial aggression collides with cinematic scope and philosophical depth. Each release is supported by visual storytelling, symbolic iconography, and an ever-growing narrative that ties into the larger mythos of the Facetaker universe. This is not entertainment in the conventional sense. It's an invitation into an immersive vision that refuses to dilute itself for mass appeal. Where many artists chase fleeting waves of relevance, Facetaker's strategy is rooted in permanence. He has cultivated an international cult following, a loyal, self-sustaining community that grows organically through direct fan engagement, intimate online events, exclusive physical editions, and underground meetups that blur the line between concert and ritual. These are not casual listeners. They are participants in a movement. His philosophy is simple. Music should be a world you live in, not just a soundtrack to the one you already inhabit. Every album, video, and live performance exists as a chapter in an ongoing chronicle, an evolving dialogue between sound, vision, and meaning. Fans don't just consume Facetaker's work, they decode it, collect it, and wear it as an identity. Sonically, Facetaker draws from the brutal precision of industrial metal, the atmospheric tension of cinematic scores, and the pulse of dark electronic music. He understands the language of both chaos and stillness, knowing when to strip a song down to a single haunting note, and when to unleash walls of sound that feel like they could bring a city to its knees. This dynamic range, combined with meticulous production, ensures that each release is as emotionally gripping as it is sonically imposing.